Every evening, Gordon leaves the big station with the express. He is followed shortly after by Edward, who takes his own passengers to his branch line. Gordon is very proud of his job. He thinks he's the only engine capable of doing so. "They need big, strong engines like me to pull it," he boasted. "Not little engines like you, Edward." "I agreed," laughed Edward. "I'm probably too old to do it now." "I'm glad you know your place, old-timer," said Gordon loftily, as he rode away to the station. Edward chuckled. He knew what Gordon was like. He was just being ready to follow Gordon when the yardmaster ran over and spoke with the driver. "There is trouble at the station," explained the driver. "We best get there quickly." When Edward arrived, he found the problem. Gordon had gone to take on water, but the points had jammed, leaving him stuck in the siding. Passengers crowded the station platform anxiously. "How will we get home?" they cried. The fat controller came out of his office. "I'm sorry, everyone, but we shall have to delay the train until another engine is ready." Edward knew it would take a while before another engine would be in steam. "Excuse me, sir. Can I help?" "You, Edward? But you've got your own train to pull." "I know, sir, but it's not as big as Gordon's. A bus could take mine, and I could try and take Gordon's for him." The fat controller smiled. "An excellent idea, Edward. I'm glad to have an engine as wise as you on my railway. Are you sure you can manage Gordon's train?" "There's not too many coaches, so I might just about manage," said Edward. "Looking after our passengers is most important after all." The arrangements were quickly made. The passengers quickly boarded the train as Edward was coupled up. Just as he was ready to leave, Bertie arrived to take his passengers. "Good luck, Edward," he called happily. "Show them what you're made of." "I'll try," laughed Edward. Just then, the guard's whistle blew. Edward responded, and with a mighty heave, he slowly pulled the coaches away. It was hard at first, but once he got them going, it was easier. Edward was soon rowing happily along. The coaches followed smoothly, and the passengers sang his praises. Although he couldn't go as fast as Gordon, Edward did his best, and at last the station at the end of the line came into view. Everyone got out and said thank you to Edward, who smiled happily back. He trundled slowly home. Gordon had been freed from the siding and stood waiting as Edward rode into the sheds. "Thank you, Edward," he said. "You did a grand job. I'm sorry I was so rude." Edward smiled. "That's all right. I didn't think I could do it either. I've still got some strength left, it seems." And as his old eyes twinkled in the moonlight, Edward retired happily to sleep.